Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. It is around 3:30 a.m. on Tuesday the 6th of November in the USA. In Australia, it's just after dinner time at night. I think it's around 7 p.m. So I wanted to get this reading for you so that you've got it tomorrow morning when you wake up. I'm going to look at the 7 key governor races in gerrymandered districts where there has been voter suppression, because I've had a lot of viewers' comments about that. I'm going to read them quickly like I did the 9 key Senate races. I'm actually going to read these quickly. I have some knowledge on some of the candidates, but not a lot on the others. So this will be more or less a straight card reading. So let's see how we go. We'll go to Florida to Gillum and DeSantis. Now, I have read on this before, and I have to say it was quite ambiguous. There wasn't really a straightforward result in the cards, and I thought that Gillum might have been struggling at that point. However, that was like a month ago, so it will be really interesting to see what the cards actually reveal now. Of course, I watched a most inspirational speech from Barack Obama. He was stumping for Gillum in Florida, and it was just, gosh, he was, a really a good man, and he governed with hope. That was his central message, regardless of how successful. I mean, he was hamstrung. His last term must have been so hard for him, given that the Congress was in control of by the Republicans, so it must have been very difficult for him to. But he kept his head up. He's a statesman, and he is so highly revered across the world. Here in Australia, so well thought of. And an inspiration to those in Australia. Just quickly, someone asked me in the comments section, why, in Australia, are you exposed to US politics? What is the level of interest in Australia in USA politics? Well, I have to tell you, we have news bulletins similar to on television. The different television stations, similar to what you do in the USA. On every one of our commercial free-to-air stations, and including our paid ones as well, a portion of the news carries some bulletin, some news from the USA. We have journalists stationed in Washington from Australia, and most nights they report from the USA. So that gives you an idea of the level of coverage that Australian media gives to USA politics and USA events and situations and news. Because and it's every night, and the midterm coverage has been on here every night. So there you go. There's no escaping it. Okay, so back to Florida. We're going to go to Florida. We're going to go to Gillum, a tremendously inspirational candidate, and DeSantis, who looks like sort of reminds me a little bit of a spoilt boy that needs to take his bat and ball and go home. So, Gillum, will Gillum win the governor's race in Florida? And I'll just say today, because it's the 6th of November. Okay, so will Gillum win in Florida? Will Gillum be the next Florida governor? Will Gillum win? Will Gillum win? Red or blue, Spirit? Red or blue? Oh, I think it will be blue, but then, I've still got sort of like neck and neck, so let's have a look. Gillum and DeSantis, who's going to win? Will Gillum win? Okay. All right, so we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is a new job. It's a new job. It's also can be money news, but in this case, it's a raise. It's a money news. It's like there's going to be newness in Florida, so perhaps that tinge of blue, a very close race, but blue nevertheless, maybe, yeah. Okay, the Sun, success. Okay, Gillum's, these are really good cards unless I see something bad coming up. The Ten of Cups is the, is the support, families, future, orientation. Really, it's about building a legacy for the future for families, and the next generation. So these are great cards for Gillum. The Empress has always come across to me as Democrats, because I'll just explain quickly why. The Empress is about intuition, and it's about things that are in the subconscious before they come into reality. So this change that's in the wind, this rejection of the politics of fear, and going back to the politics of hope, that's in the subconscious psyche of the USA, amongst the majority, and that's where they're heading. And of course, this is why I always associate this card with the Democrats. It's also the woman vote as well. And young people. So this is a good indication for Gillum that it may be blue. And the Knight of Pentacles coming forward. This is, of course, a new job offer, but and reliability as well. So it would seem Gillum is a known quantity. He's already Mayor of Tallahassee, I think. I don't know what his record is like, whether he seems a particularly stable and reliable candidate. But the other thing is that this is the Knight also can represent patience and hard work. And to me, that's Gillum. He's put that in. Now, with the use of the word patience, I did see to begin with these cards are pretty ambiguous. They're lovely. That's success. But I did see that kind of flash of blue and then followed by a flash of red. Then it may be it may be a very close race, and the results might not be known straight away. However, I've got good cards for Gillum, and it's looking like it doesn't appear to be much ambiguity, except that I just saw that flash of blue followed by the flash of red. So that indicates, along with the cards, it'll be very, very close, but likely Gillum will have the edge. So then we go to Michigan, and we've got Gretchen Whitmer, excuse my pronunciations. She's a former state senator. She's very well known. And Bill Schwett, again, forgive my pronunciation. But let's see if Gretchen in Michigan will be successful. Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. Will Gretchen, former state senator, Gretchen Whitmer, will she be successful? We're moving into states that are very heavily gerrymandered, don't forget. So it's an uphill battle for these candidates. And that's why the change is needed. Okay, will Gretchen Whitmer be successful? Gretchen be successful. Okay. All right, so we've got the Hermit, which is, it's kind of withdrawal and retreat, but let's not jump to conclusions yet. And then we've got the Two of Wands, which is waiting for results and making choices. So the Hermit being that withdrawal and reflection, and then waiting for results. And then we have the Six of Cups, which is, I guess it's nostalgia. So what's going on in Michigan that the voters would be looking backward, not forward. The Hierophant is judgment coming forward, and also, I guess, traditions. It's not looking good for Gretchen so far. But we have the Queen of Wands. And this is, you know, I mean, this is a feisty, confident person, self-assured. Gretchen, as a former state secretary, could be all those, and this is that we've got a queen here. So I can't call that one, and I won't, because there's some cards there that aren't very good. It seems like the Michigan are going to be following traditions, and that card worries me for Gretchen as well. But we did have the Queen of Wands, so you know that is about inspiration. If she pulls it off, she'll be extremely inspirational, and she is the Queen there, not the other candidate, not Bill Shewett, or whatever his name is. So we won't call that one. So we've called it for Gulam. We can't call it for Gretchen, but there's that Queen of Wands there, which is, you know, a good indication. Let's go to Ohio. Again, heavily gerrymandered. Richard Corday and Mike DeWine. Okay, Richard Corday and Mike DeWine. Richard Corday. Will Richard Corday win? Okay, Richard Corday. Will Richard Corday win? Of course, if the governors take back these states, they can then do something about the heavily gerrymandered district, you know, boundaries. So this is why I'm reading on this tonight, just to see if we can get a feel on what might happen. But gee whiz, they are uphill battles for them. But let's see. Okay, Richard Corday. Will Richard Corday be successful? Okay. So we've got the High Priestess, and that's indicating that in Ohio there might be some women turning out to support Richard Corday. I'm not sure what's going on in Ohio, but this is the High Priestess is around secrets and mysteries, intuition, and, you know, trusting yourself. All right, let's put that there. We'll see what else comes up. The Queen of Pentacles, again, another, I guess, female card, the Queen, and she is quite resourceful. What's going on in Ohio that we've got such a heavy presence of women voters coming out? And the Eight of Pentacles suggesting some really hard work. Has Richard Corday got some lots of female work, you know, campaign staff working hard on his behalf? What's going on there? The Eight of Pentacles, again, yeah, this mastering things, mastery over things, and leaving a you know, this hard work and leaving a body of work. Looks temperance and balance. Okay, the Ohio voters want balance. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good for Richard Corday, and the Knight of Cups coming forward with a proposal here. This is a new relationship between the government, the governor, and the state government and the voters. It's looking positive for Richard Corday. Just draw one more. I shouldn't have drawn one more. Here we get the Three of Swords. I'm just going to get some clarity on this. Three of Swords, who's that for? Is that for the opponent? Because up until now, Corday was looking good. Can we have some clarity on the Three of Swords? Is Richard Corday going to win? Or does this mean a loss for him? Richard Corday going to win? No, this is the card of disappointment. All right, I have to say there's some great cards. This is strong female voter turnout. Voters are looking for balance, but it may be that the gerrymandering is just too heavy. Up until I drew another card, which I probably shouldn't have done, Richard Corday looked strong. I might just flip a one card, because I probably shouldn't have pushed that far. when the result looked pretty clear cut. Okay, Richard Corday in Ohio. Yes, no. Is he going to win? Richard Corday, is he going to win? Okay, the Wheel of Fortune turns. Turns for whom? That is not really all that helpful. Is Mike DeWine, what's his, let me just look him up. What's his position? Because if he's a sitting, if he's a governor, then the Wheel of Fortune would be turning against him. Mike DeWine. Sorry, just bear with me. He's Ohio's Attorney General. Okay. I probably can't really call that, except to say that it looked good for Richard Corday. Let me see if I can just push this a little further. Spirit, is Richard Corday going to win? Red or blue? No, I'm sorry, it's looking red. Okay, I just got that flash of red then. Okay. All right, let's push on. Tom Wolfe in Pennsylvania is the incumbent versus Scott Wagner. Okay, so Tom Wolfe, I think would it be his second term in Pennsylvania? Is Tom Wolfe going to be successful? Second term, Tom Wolfe going to be successful. Tom Wolfe going to be successful. Yeah, okay. Two of Wands is, waiting for results, making choices, considering the options, waiting for results. It might be very, very close. And, yeah, it's hard work for Tom Wolfe in Pennsylvania. The Magician, what's going on there? The gerrymandering may very well be a problem for Wolfe. Queen of Pentacles suggesting that, this is the resourceful woman. So is there money? It's to do with money here. Tom Wolfe's problem is to do with money. I don't know what's happening in Pennsylvania, but are there a lot of donations for the Republican? The Republicans got behind Scott Wagner and really trying to unseat Tom Wolfe. The King of Swords, though, this is looking good. It's this is the powerful leader and strategic thought. Tom Wolfe is in power, so it's it's going to be very, very close, very, very close. Nine of Wands, he's battling to defend to defend his seat, and it's hard work for him. And there's been some tricks from the Republicans in the past. Big donations come into the state for the Republican candidate. However, we've got the King of Swords, so it's going to be an uphill battle for Wolfe, but we've got that card. So I'm going to say he might just hang on. It may be that the results will be a little bit delayed, but I think Wolfe might just hang on. And I'll just have a look. Tom Wolfe, red or blue? Yeah, okay, blue. He might just hang on to his governorship. Okay, Georgia, Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. This is the state where the voter suppression issues have come out as a national issue. That the blocking of African American voters, absolutely appalling. It's not only come out as news across the USA, it's come out in world news. Brian Kemp, what he's done, absolutely disgusting. Known across the globe, voter suppression of African Americans, appalling, absolutely appalling for Georgia and for the USA. Okay, so Stacey Abrams, Brian Kemp. Will Stacey, despite the greatest of odds, take the Georgia governorship? Let's have a look. Red or blue? Oh, okay. I'm not getting anything. Why is that? Will Stacey Abrams in Georgia win? Red or blue? I'm still not getting anything. That's odd. Why is that? All right, we'll ask the cards. Is Stacey Abrams going to win in Georgia? Is that Spirit's way of saying this isn't a fair race? Is that what that's saying? Okay. Is Stacey Abrams going to win in Georgia? Stacey Abrams going to win in Georgia? Is Stacey going to be successful? Okay, we have the Four of Swords, which is retreat. At that point, it could be for Brian Kemp or it could be for Stacey. I'm not sure. The Seven of Pentacles is like the harvest card. This is waiting for results, and it is delayed success and waiting for results. Okay, that could be why I couldn't see anything, because there's going to be this delay. Oh, look, here's the voter suppression coming up, the Seven of Swords. Really, this is one of my, I really don't like the Seven of Swords. It is that theft and betrayal and dishonesty, and trying to get away with things and being, abuse. This is the voter suppression coming out. Interesting cards. The Ace of Swords is the truth coming forward. And this is mental clarity, it's new ideas, it's new jobs. It can also be new conflicts, but I think this is the truth coming out. Is there going to be... I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, the Four of Wands. Actually, this is quite a favourable card coming for Stacey. This is homecoming and celebrations. This is a lovely card. Okay, now this spread is quite interesting because I think what I'm thinking here is that there is actually going to be quite a long delay before the results of Georgia might be known. The other thing that there could be is some court battles as to the legitimacy of the results. That could be another possibility. Yeah. Because it's like there's kind of retreat, which could be Kemp retreating away from the massive publicity that has come upon him as a result of his diabolicalness. But we've got some really hard work coming forward for Stacey and her campaign team. But we've got this voter suppression in the background. And then we've got the Ace of Swords, the truth coming out. The Seven of Pentacles is the card of delayed results, and this is in the focus of the reading. Then we've got finally in the future some celebrations for Stacey. All right, I'm going to ask that question because we have to, don't we? Is there going to be, are the results going to be challenged? Is this what I'm saying? Will there be challenges to the results of the Georgia election? Will the results be challenged? Will there need to be a recount? Okay, will the results be challenged? Well, what's jumped out? I won't do that, I'll just be clear. Will the results of Georgia be challenged in the courts? Okay, the Ten of Cups. That's not... Well, that could be success for Stacey after some protracted delay. I mean, the Ten of Cups is about, it's about the families and the love and the support. That's not a card I associated with Brian Kemp, really, is it? Love and support and families and, Okay, and Page of Pentacles is money news. something's going to happen in Georgia. I'll leave it there. Something is going to occur in Georgia today, or after the results. There's going to be some delays. There could even be some court challenges to the results, and there will be a need for the truth to come forward. I can't really say. I'm just going to say there was some good cards for Stacey, but there were also that protracted and delayed results. These aren't easy governor races, are they? They're in gerrymandered districts with some really quite significant voter suppression, and for I guess challenges to results to occur. That wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for results to be challenged. All right, so let's go to Texas. Lupe Valdez and Greg Abbott, who's the governor. Unfortunately, this will be a hard one for Lupe Valdez to win in Texas, but nothing is impossible. Texas is turning out strongly for Beto O'Rourke. And for Democrats, it's a red state, but will Lupe Valdez be successful in Texas? Lupe Valdez be successful in Texas. She's a former sheriff. Okay, the Hermit card, I think we pulled that in one of the governor races before. The Nine of Wands is about self-defense. The Knight of Pentacles is newness coming forward, but it's also about delayed results and hard work. That could be Lupe's. That's in the past position. That could be Lupe's campaign that she's put quite considerable amount of work into it. The Three of Wands. Again, that's teamwork and expansion. So that's her campaign. That's her campaign coming forward, the hard work that she's put into it. And the King of Swords is that bold leader and top dog. I don't see Lupe in any of this reading, to be quite honest. I see her putting in a lot of hard work. I see her campaign team putting in a lot of hard work. I see obstacles there for her. I think the King of Swords might be Greg Abbott, who is the sitting governor. Okay, he's the top dog at this point in time. Those governor races are so hard. Those 7 key seats are where there's been gerrymandering. So look, in summary, I think Gillum is looking good. Gretchen's looking very close. I think, Richard Corday is looking pretty good. I think from memory, I can't remember what the card said now. Tom Wolfe looks like he might hold on. Did I do Wisconsin? Tony Evers? I'm not sure that I did. I don't think I did. Scott Walker, the current governor. And then we had Georgia and Texas. Stacey was quite an odd result there, and Lupe was going to be an uphill battle for her. Tony. I'm just going to read on Wisconsin because I don't recall that I did do Tony Evers. Tony Evers and Scott Walker, who is the sitting governor. Will Tony Evers in Wisconsin be successful? Tony Evers in Wisconsin. Will he be successful? Red or blue? Tony Evers. Will Tony Evers be successful? Red or blue? Yeah, too close to call were the words that I got. Let's see, will Tony Evers be successful? Okay, the Six of Pentacles, loans and debts, gifts. What is happening in Wisconsin? The Governor, Scott Walker, what is he? Is he obviously being given a lot of campaign finances? The Knight of Swords comes through. This is the fast thinking. This is the soldier. That's a good sign for Tony Evers. A necessary transition in the past. This is looking good for Tony. The Star of Hope. For Tony, and the Ten of Cups, families building for the future. This is looking good for Tony. I'm going to call Wisconsin as Tony Evers might get over the line. So Gillum, Tony Evers, possibly Gretchen, possibly Tom Wolfe, possibly Richard Corday, I think from memory. Can't get Georgia is quite. I think there's probably going to be it's either going to be a recount. There might be some controversy around voter machines, and unfortunately, Lupe, it looks like it's just an uphill battle for her. Okay, look, they're the governor races, 7 governor races. I don't know much about them other than Florida and Georgia. But those viewers who are watching this will know more than me and perhaps can interpret some of these things that came through for me. It's fair to say in all those 7 key governor states, in the heavy gerrymandered states, where it's going to be difficult for Democrats to come forward. If the Democrats take those states, if they're successful, it's going to be a huge indication, a huge litmus test, because they're really they're in uphill battles. Really, they really are at the state level. This is one of the Republican strategies to get power and to hold it, is to gerrymander at the state level, and ensure that they've got their governors in power there to keep governors in power. It will be quite miraculous and quite inspirational for Democratic governors to win, and I think that's why the Democrats have put so much effort at that state level, because it is really critical to have those Democratic governors and to roll back that gerrymandering and that voter suppression. So fingers crossed for those 7 governors. I'll leave it there. This is the day of the midterms, and I know you're all going out to vote. How exciting. We'll keep on this so that when, if some seats are in doubt or if there's voting recounts, we'll kind of do a running commentary, really. We'll pull some cards and see how those battles might likely to pan out. We'll also take a look at the week or 2 after the midterms and see what's happening with that, because I do have a feeling there's going to be recounts. I think there's going to be challenges, and I think that time immediately after the midterms today. I'm not sure that's going to be smooth sailing because of the controversy we've had in the lead up to the midterms. But anyway, I'll take you back on to yesterday's reading, which showed very likely that the Democrats would win the House. I can't call the Senate. I'm going to say the Senate's a maybe. They might. The Democrats might lose a couple of seats, but they might pick up a couple, maybe 2 or 3 seats. We'll see, and it could be that there's it's so close, the Senate, that we can't call it. But definitely I see the Dems taking the House. So that's come forward very strongly in all my readings. Trump, more accountability for Trump, the beginning of the end for Trump. So let's just keep that in mind on the morning of the midterms. I'll be thinking of you all, and we'll regroup and have a look at what's next in the next day or so. Okay, thank you, viewers.